heard me mention it. Today, I am reviewing the Adidas TERREX Speed Ultra Trail Shoe. That's right. This is, spoiler alert, a wonderful shoe. In fact, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I don't know what the number system means because this is the first time I've ever used a numeric system to rate shoes, but this is a 9 out of 10. A couple minor flaws that I'll tell you about. I don't even know if they're flaws, but a couple minor things that I wish could be improved, but all in all, a great shoe. Okay, let's get into it. Here is my full review of the Speed Ultra. I purchased the Adidas TERREX Speed Ultra with my own money. Nobody is paying me or influencing me to say anything. All thoughts, opinions, and experiences are truly my own. This shoe is made obviously by Adidas and co-created with the Ultraman himself, Tom Evans. I understand that Tom Evans put in a lot of feedback and testing into this shoe, and it really shows. They thought of everything, and this is a wonderful trail shoe. So I've ran over 50 miles in this shoe. Everything from simple short trail runs to medium long runs, and even a 50K Ultra, the Jaimes Mountains 50K that I ran not too long ago. And from all of the running that I've done in the shoe, I am confident in saying that this shoe is phenomenal in lots of different types of trail conditions. You can run this shoe on gravel paths, you can run it on single track, you can run it in technical, rocky, rooty terrain. It does it all. Couple quick specs. This shoe comes in with a weight, men's size 9. You see here on the side it says 240. The website I believe actually lists 245 grams. That is pretty lightweight for a trail shoe. You've got an 8mm drop from heel to toe, 26mm stack in the heel, 18mm stack in the forefoot. As for other technology built into the shoe, the upper contains a multi-layered engineered mesh. The midsole is a combination of that super resilient Boost and lightweight light strake material. Now let's start with the outsole because this continental grip is phenomenal. Let me put up a picture on the screen here for you. It's really hard to tell the grip, the design of the grip, but basically what you're getting are 2.5mm lugs that are multi-directional, so it really helps control and help you grab onto the dirt as you're trying to either propel forward, propel uphill, or make your descents downhill. The reason for my 9 out of 10 rating and losing a point, or at least one of the reasons, is because I wish the lugs were just a little bit deeper, another 0.5mm, so bring them up to 3mm or so. I felt like that would help improve the durability of the outsole just a little bit. Although, that said, I believe part of the reason why they did not go with a super deep lug depth is because, frankly, they don't need to. This shoe does phenomenally. It just grips and grips and instills so much confidence while you're out there on the trail. In fact, it's really hard for me to describe how well the shoe does on the trails because I put it on my feet and I just don't think about my shoes. That's a good thing. I'm able to just go out and run and not worry about, oh, this feels a little weird. How are my toes doing? How's the arch feel? What about the grip across the top of my foot? What about the outsole grip? I just don't have to worry about it. I can just go run. You get a full set of rubber. One of the benefits of doing that is, other than traction, is that it helps protect your feet against rocks. So this shoe does not have a rock plate, but honestly, I don't think it needs it. That would just add a little bit more weight to the shoe that's not needed. I never felt any rocks penetrate through the bottom of the shoe into my foot or be an irritant at all. The Continental rubber is also pretty durable. I am seeing no significant signs of wear at all after 50 miles, and in other Adidas shoes that also have Continental grip, it lasts a long time. I'm very, very pleased with Continental grip and have not found another outsole rubber that does as well, that grips as well and lasts as long as the Continental rubber does. Moving on to the midsole. As mentioned, you get a little bit of boost in the midfoot and the heel area of the shoe, and light strike material along the whole top part where your foot rests into the shoe. I was skeptical of the light strike, having not used a shoe that had light strike. I really like the light strike material. It is lightweight and actually more responsive, and yet still cushiony at the same time. Really hard to describe. You can see just how soft, I mean, that's pretty squishy right there, you can see. And so I think what Adidas has done is they really brought two phenomenal materials together to create a shoe that can go the distance, provide great feedback as you're hitting the trails, and a responsive ride that helps keep you going. The other thing that I've really enjoyed with other Adidas shoes that do feature the Boost material is that it is super, super resilient. You can get hundreds and hundreds of miles out of the Boost midsoles, and it just keeps giving and giving and giving. It doesn't compact or deflate like other midsoles might. We'll see about the longevity of the light strike and see how long it lasts. Some people have complained about a little bit of creasing here on the inside of the shoe where the light strike material is. Doesn't seem to be creasing too bad for me, so that'll be left up to longevity to see how that goes. But so far, I'm very pleased and extremely happy with the midsole. As far as my feet feeling fatigued at all, when I ran this during my 50K race, my feet honestly could not have been happier. They weren't sore, they weren't overly fatigued, and I attribute that to how well this shoe is and the combination of both the Boost and the light strike material. Moving on to the upper, as I'd mentioned, you are getting a multi-layered engineered mesh. So this shoe is really unique, and I haven't ever seen another shoe that does it quite like this. But what they did with the upper is really ingenious. It's super strong, it holds your foot in place, there are no pressure points or hot spots that I experienced when running in this shoe. So the very inner layer of the shoe, and you can see it as you look at the shoe and the layers here, you can see that it's got some cross designs going across the shoe here, and a little bit different design here on the inside. But it's got this under layer that adds strength and support to the upper, but it also is slightly textured, I suppose. It's not like super smooth or a glossy type of underlay. And what that does is it helps maintain your foot placement inside the shoe. Once you cinch this shoe down, your foot feels comfortable, but it doesn't move around. And we all know that blisters form from friction and movement inside the shoe. I never got a single blister, and I attribute that to how the shoe wraps around your foot and holds your foot in place. Secondly, you've got this really durable and breathable mesh. It does a great job at allowing the air to move in and out of the shoe, but also does a great job at allowing water to be pushed out of the shoe if you were to have run through a stream or a creek. Lastly, you've got some overlays that help add additional support where you need it. So most notably, you've got the overlays across the toe, and there's even an additional overlay, a second overlay, across where your big toe is. I think this adds a little bit of protection for your toe, but it also helps prevent additional wear at this point in the shoe. So I've seen lots of shoes where the big toe, you actually end up forming a hole in the shoe because your toe rubs against it and eventually wears a hole in it. You're not going to get that with this shoe because of where they place this overlay. Moving along to the back, the heel is actually pretty soft. It's rigid a little bit, but it gives you enough give that your heel is gonna not feel restricted, but it's still very supportive. I never felt like my heel was moving around in this shoe at all. It is very comfortable. Additionally, you're gonna get some really good light padding along the sides of your ankle and along the back where your Achilles heel touches. It's important to note too that I never experienced any Achilles heel interference in this shoe. Now moving to the top here and the tongue. The tongue is gusseted on both sides, which I really like. That adds to the comfort, it adds to the security and the hold across the top of your foot. And the tongue is lightly padded. I would say it's padded just enough to be lightweight, but still be comfortable. The tongue is perforated, so it's gonna help with breathability. And then lastly, these laces are slightly textured, which means that when you go to tie the shoe, the laces don't come undone. It also means that when you're cinching down and getting that lock, it stays in place. You can pull it tight, it stays there. Move on to the next pull and it stays. So it just locks in place and stays exactly where you have put the laces. Lastly, because they're flat, they're gonna help give a nice distributed hold across the top of your foot. You also get an additional set of holes on each side here that you can leverage to offer a different lockdown across the top of your foot. Again, didn't use them myself, but didn't feel like I really needed to either. The shoe is also fairly neutral, although you do get a little bit of torsional rigidity from that plate that they put in here, which has a couple prongs that extend up through part way up through the forefoot there, just by an inch or two. Enough to give some rigidity to the shoe so that it's not too unstable. The other thing that I like is the flexibility there in the toe, which when you're trying to really climb up those hills, you're digging into those hills, and having that flexibility allows your foot to move to the contours of the trail and the mountains that you're trying to conquer and run across. Coming back to my experience in this shoe, I really want to reiterate that when I put this shoe on, I didn't have to think about how the shoe felt underfoot. I was able to just go enjoy my run, go do my race, and not think about my footwear. That is huge, guys. I never experienced any hot spots or blisters or numbness in my toes, any of that. My toes have enough room in the toe box. Never got any black toenails. I felt like my foot was secure and was held in place, but not where it was restrictive or constrained, where it was uncomfortable. This shoe just did perfectly for me. I would totally take these on a 50-mile or even longer training run or race. I think this shoe does great at all distances, even the really short distances. It's light enough, nimble enough that it's gonna do great in those short races as well. The shoe is also very universal in the sense that you can use it for both training and racing, which I have done. Going back to my rating of a 9 out of 10, I mentioned the lug depth. I wish it was a little deeper, only for longevity, so that those lugs would last just a little bit longer. The other complaint that I have is the price point. It's $160, which is competitive, and if you're looking for a really good shoe that you can use in training and racing, then it's probably worth it. I would buy it, and I did buy this shoe with my own money. But $160 is still a lot of money. I kind of wish Adidas would come down a little bit. I mean, $140 would make this shoe look great. $150 would be a little bit better, but $160 is starting to get up there. Again, competitive pricing. Other shoes in this same market go up for $180 or more. So it's a competitive price, but it's still a lot of money. I wish it was just a little bit cheaper. Maybe you can find a coupon or a sale. Here's what you need to know. It's a great trail shoe. It's gonna do what you want. It's gonna be comfortable. It's gonna be fast, and it's gonna instill confidence while you're out there hitting the trails, and you can just go enjoy yourself and not have to worry about what's on your feet because you don't have to think about it. This shoe just does a great job. So do I recommend it? Yes, absolutely. This is my trail shoe of choice for 2021. Thank you all for being here and for making it to the end of this video and my rambling about how much I've enjoyed this shoe. Be sure to drop a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I would be so grateful if you would do that. It truly does help me and the channel out. So I suppose that's it. Let's wrap it up. Be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile. I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.